Hello and welcome to True Pathfinder, your portal to health and truth. And in this video, we're going to look at a health condition that affects millions of people, namely hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. We're going to discuss the real causes, look at the symptoms, clear up some misunderstandings about the heart and blood flow, and show you natural ways in which you can treat hypertension successfully without any harmful medications. Without further ado then, let's dive right into it. For decades, it was accepted that the blood pressure of a person must be around 100 plus the age of the person. So, if you are 70 years old as an example, you should have a blood pressure of 100 plus 70, which of course equals 170. This all changed in 2008 when the WHO set up an arbitrary blood pressure limit of 140 to 90 for everybody. And as a result, millions of people nowadays are treated with these very harmful medications called beta blockers or statins that make you lose your energy, libido, and joy of life, and cannot prevent strokes, heart attacks, pacemakers, stents, bypasses, or even death due to cardiac arrest. Cardiovascular and cerebrovascular accidents occur when people are constantly stressed and overwhelmed by the problems in their lives and suffer emotional conflicts as a result. High blood pressure is a mechanism of your body to adjust to the challenges of age, your environment, your unhealthy, burdening lifestyles, bad habits, and especially to the damaging psychogenic stressors. There are some secondary causes of hypertension too, such as medications that you take, drug consumption, alcohol consumption, and when it comes to medications, especially the medications with a sympathicotonic effect, such as cortisone, antibiotics, immunosuppressive drugs, and chemotherapeutics, because they add pressure to your blood vessels. The blood vessels are smooth muscles. If you are in a permanent conflict-active phase due to the issues in your life and the worries that life throws at you, you are in a permanent fight or flight conflict, which is a sympathicotonic, adrenaline-depleting state. The left myocardium ventricle must enhance its cardiac work due to the permanent compensatory effect of the left ventricle, and this is the case when the stress is hanging on a track with alternating conflict-active and conflict resolution phases. A stroke or cardiac event usually occurs at night or in the evening when the active conflict is revived through your dreams. When an intense abandonment, frustration, or overwhelming loneliness conflict is active over time, the filtration tissue of your kidneys is also damaged. As a result, more blood pressure is necessary to compensate for the filtration function loss. This is compensatory blood pressure due to the renal hypotonia. If this conflict is hanging, with permanent filtration tissue damages followed by repairs, the blood pressure will remain high to compensate for and secure a reasonable filtration rate. The kidney arteries contraction and narrowing takes place in situations when you cook off rage and cannot relax. Then the kidney sensors send signals of low blood pressure due to the reduced kidney filtration rate to your brain, and the body will adjust the blood pressure accordingly with symptoms such as dizziness, morning headaches, and hypertension. Increased thyroxine values also raise the blood pressure due to the sympathicotonic effect, with symptoms such as wasting and palpitations. And hypertension can also be caused by cortisol spikes, as with the so-called Cushing syndrome. Also, high blood pressure is due to an increase in dopamine and noradrenaline secretion in the adrenal medulla, with symptoms such as sweating, shaking, and blood glucose spikes. In this case, the biological conflict is extreme tension and the inability to reach some deadlines and goals. Additionally, it may also temporarily build a carcinoma on your adrenals. Now, contrary to the official theory, findings from embryology have shown that the heart is not a mechanical pump that pushes the blood through your vessels. The blood is instead propelled by its potential electrical force. The lungs are the real pump, and the heart is a valving system that directs the blood through your arteries and arterioles. In the capillaries, the blood flows naturally based on vortexing, so whirling, and electrical potential between the red blood cells and the blood vessels. In nature, all fluids move in that spiral manner. Just look at a natural river. And it has been proven that the structure of the cardiovascular system is taking full advantage of this natural tendency of liquids to spiral. The rotary motion of the heart and blood were detected and measured by several researchers. As early as 1908, James B. Pettigrew, who was professor of medicine at St. Andrews University in Scotland, performed dissections of the heart and discovered that a heart has 7 muscle layers. Pettigrew postulated that one group of muscle contracts during systole while the other stores the energy utilized in diastole. In his view, the motion of the heart muscle is like that of a torsional pendulum, so a twisting pendulum. In the 1920s then, scientist and philosopher Rudolf Steiner taught his medical students that the spiral flow in the embryo's blood vessels was propelled by its own biological momentum initiated in the tubes that eventually become the heart. The heart is only aiding this process. In his book Psychoanalysis and Spiritual Psychology, Steiner states, "The pressure is not the cause of the blood flow, but the result of it." In 1932, Harvard University scientist J. Bremer filmed the blood flow in embryos before the formation of the heart valves. And he observed that the spiraling blood is boosted by the pulsating heart without creating turbulence in the blood. In addition, he described 2 streams in the heart tubes that spiral with different forward velocities around their longitudinal axis and each other. In 1981, Dr. Bremer's findings were confirmed by the surgical studies of Dr. Albulu and Asfalf. They stated, quote, "Not only is the blood flow well maintained in the embryo before the valves develop, there are reports of adults in whom both infected tricuspid and pulmonary valves were surgically removed and not replaced by prosthetic valves without significant problems." The Austrian researcher Viktor Schauberger, celebrated for his extraordinary discoveries of the energy effects of water wells, stated also on many occasions that the heart was not a pump. The heart's function was instead that of a regulator of the blood flow. He saw the peristaltic and pulsatory action of the blood vessels as the elements responsible for the blood circulation. According to Professor Kurt Bergel of Berlin University, this function was carried out by the millions of highly active capillaries that permeate the body. Bergel had detected this pulsation by observing the small blood vessels that formed around the yolk sac of a bird's egg. Upon opening the egg, he noticed that blood vessels surrounding the yolk sac pulsated before they cooled off, even though the heart had not yet been formed. Ralph Marinelli of Temple University in Philadelphia wrote, "When the heart begins to function, it enhances the blood's momentum with spiraling impulses. The arteries have a subsidiary mimical heart function by providing spiraling boosts to the circulating blood, and in doing so, the arteries dilate to receive the incoming blood and contract to deliver an impulse to increase the blood's momentum." The spiral theme is apparent in the function and the form of the heart and the blood vessels. The spiral shape on the inner surface of the blood vessels, the temperature differential between core and extremities, and the electromagnetic charge differential between arterial, oxygen-rich, and venous, CO2-rich blood also seem to support the circulatory action. The musculature of the heart and arteries all the way down to the precapillaries is spirally oriented, and both the heart and arteries move spirally to augment the momenta of the blood. The heart moves the way it does because of its bundles of striated muscle fibers, which are oriented spirally in the same direction and work together to effect motion. In 3D, healthy hearts do their own version of the twist. Rather than a simple pumping action, they circulate blood as if they were wringing a towel. And those are all quotes from researchers and doctors that have been made over the decades when it comes to the real function of the heart and how the blood flow works. And then we have modern analysis of the heart that have shown that the amount of pressure required to force the blood through the entire length of the body's blood vessels would have to be able to lift a 100-pound weight 1 mile high. Now, given that the human body contains at least 60,000 miles, so about 97,000 kilometers of blood vessels, it is inconceivable that a heart would be capable of producing sufficient power to circulate the blood. When you want to research this subject, I highly recommend the book The Heart is Not a Pump, a refutation of the pressure propulsion premise of heart function by Dr. Marinelli, and also Living Energies, Victor Schauberger's brilliant work with natural energy explained by Callum Coates. As you see, blood pressure is not directly related to the heart, more to the psychosomatic events in which the heart is directly or indirectly, as a house of your mind, involved. Now that we have gained a better understanding of the heart's function and the blood flow, let's move on to the heart problems that lead to blood pressure issues and how we can address them successfully in a natural, holistic way. But before we do that, short reminder, if you enjoy our content, please support us directly by becoming a patron from as little as $5 per month. Link is in the description box below. Also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe if you're not already, and comment to help this channel grow and spread the truth. For the holistic terrain therapy that you need and deserve, do not hesitate to contact us at christine.doctor and check out some of the most powerful holistic health tools available on the market today, including some amazing, affordable and portable devices that can help you regulate your blood pressure at vibrantbody.net. Links, as always, also in the description box below. Alright then, one of the issues that can lead to blood pressure problems is that of an overheated heart. The primary causes for an overheated heart are stress, overworking yourself, and having too little rest, as well as chronic worries and anxiety, which exhaust your spleen, and angriness that affects your liver and gallbladder. On top of that, conditions such as hepatitis, an inflamed liver, a fatty liver, bile blockages in your ducts, and infectious as well as parasitic diseases such as fasciola hepatica transmit the heat, so the fire, and in this case, this is understood as an infection of the heart. Kidney conditions are another cause. Due to their unique role in regulating water metabolism, the kidney's filtration function is directly regulated by the blood pressure. Symptoms of an overheated heart are heart palpitations, mental restlessness, insomnia and a dream-disturbed sleep, anxiety, night sweats, hot palms and sores, dryness of the skin, problems with your internal mucosa, your eyes and your mouth, that you are thirsty for icy cold drinks and have an aversion to heat, that you have a red face, suffer from severe mental restlessness, agitation and impulsiveness, as well as mouth and tongue ulcers, and dark urine, blood in the urine, and a bitter taste in the mouth, which hints to liver symptoms. The treatment for an overheated heart takes place with so-called cooling foods and herbs. However, you should be careful with these types of foods and herbs. You must not take them excessively and long term, because they are cold in nature and will eventually slow down your digestion and damage the spleen. As always, I recommend that you do not self-medicate, and you can see the reasons why. Contact a professional such as us at Christine.Doctor. We have a lot of experience with this type of therapy, and we will develop a custom plan that really works. Link as mentioned in the description box below. Another problem that might cause hypertension is that of a weak heart. And the causes for a weak heart are chronic or excessive negative emotions, sadness, grief, and depression. An energy deficient heart is a very common problem for the contemporary person, because we all suffer from a lot of stress and have very poor diets in a lot of cases. So we eat lousy quality food or inadequate food that has too much starch in it, too many carbohydrates, too much sugar. We also suffer from poor breathing, and that is made even worse when we live in highly polluted areas, and we overwork ourselves, and all of this wears out the energy of our heart and our overall energy. On top of that, negative emotions are a cause of a weak heart, since the heart houses the mind. The emotional problems that we suffer from wear out our heart's power, and the feeling most responsible for heart energy depletion is sadness, because sadness is experienced with a physical sensation of pressure in the heart area and a heart restriction. Symptoms of a weak heart are heart palpitations, spontaneous sweating, shortness of breath, tiredness, paleness, cold sensitivity as well as fear of cold, shallow breathing, cold limbs and blue lips. And symptoms of a heart collapse are weakened shallow breathing, cold limbs and blue lips combined with heart palpitations. What can we do to address a weak heart? Well, we must energize and tonify the heart, and tonify and activate the blood, as well as cleanse the blood of pathogens. Next, we have blood deficiency. Causes herefore are that the liver and spleen store and regulate the blood in your body. And therefore, overall blood deficiencies, or not having enough blood, or toxic blood, will affect the function of the liver and spleen. Heart blood deficiency symptoms are spirit-related, also because the heart houses your mind, and therefore you will see symptoms such as nervousness, anxiety, insomnia, a dream-disturbed sleep, and poor memory. One of the major causes of blood deficiency is a weak spleen. When the spleen is weak, it cannot sufficiently transform food into nutrients, blood and energy, and thus not enough blood is being produced. If this is the case, blood deficiency symptoms such as paleness, dry skin, dizziness, they are accompanied by some digestive issues like poor appetite and or poor digestion. A diet which lacks sufficient nourishment is another cause for the blood to become deficient, and yet another one is severe hemorrhaging, so severe bleeding. General symptoms are pale face, pale lips, pale nails. Even having a pale tongue without other paleness means that the blood is deficient. Dry skin, dry hair and thin hair, premature graying of the hair, muscle weakness, muscle cramps and muscle spasms, numbness in your limbs, dizziness, a scanty menstruation, painful menstruation, blurred vision, floaters in your eyes, dry or cracked nails, heart palpitations, nervousness, anxiety, insomnia, a dream-disturbed sleep, and poor memory. As for treatments, there are a lot of herbs that are heavy and sticky in nature that can be used here, but they should be prescribed with caution as they could be heavy on your digestion. On the other hand, they are very potent and strongly reinforce the deficient blood. And for better effect, it is good to use them together with some qi tonifying herbs. People with healthy hearts are generally friendly, warm and loving. Their mind is clear, their emotions are balanced, and they go effortlessly through life's problems. People with healthy hearts are also usually dedicated, empathic and caring. On the other hand, people with heart conditions are often restless, they laugh excessively or do not laugh at all, and they manifest strange, inappropriate behaviors. Their minds are scattered, their spirit is weak, and they are unable to focus. Severe manifestations of a sick heart are also mental illnesses. If the heart is soft, the mind has no residence and wanders homeless at night, and thus heart problems always manifest with insomnia. People with unbalanced hearts have trouble falling asleep, their sleep is shallow, interrupted, unproductive, and often dream disturbed. The heart, as we have seen, governs the blood and is responsible for supplying blood to all of your body tissues. A healthy heart and abundant blood will manifest in a radiant, peach-like complexion, while a flushed or white pale face indicates a heart-blood disharmony. The sense organ the heart opens to is the tongue, and therefore the nucleus controls the speech. As a result, any speech problems, including impairment of language ability, stuttering, excessive speaking, or confused speaking, can indicate heart imbalances. Spontaneous sweating or night sweats are also commonly related to a deficient heart. And the heart likes the summer and the beautiful radiant summer colors, especially red and green. And that's why in some of the holistic health tools that you can get at vibrantbody.net, we use these colors in light therapy to help the heart out. As you can see, blood pressure issues have many possible causes. Thus, if you really want to permanently resolve them instead of just suppressing the symptoms, you should not self-medicate. Instead, contact a professional like us who can diagnose the real cause and develop a proper customized treatment plan for you, so that you can kick these harmful medications like the beta blockers and the diuretic medications and the blood thinners to the curb. We have over 20 years of experience treating heart problems and blood pressure issues, and we have over 90% success rate with that. we will remotely assess you and develop a natural holistic approach that is custom tailored to your particular needs. And the process is really simple. You just go to our website, christine.doctor. Link is in the description box below. You fill out the custom questionnaire we have created specifically for blood pressure issues. You just have to check and describe your symptoms. And then we will evaluate your answers and we'll contact you to create, in conjunction with you, your personal custom therapy plan. And it's really affordable. On top of that, just $180. And for that fee, we guarantee that we will work with you until the problem is really resolved, no matter how long it takes. With all that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. If you did so, please support us directly by becoming a Patreon from as little as $5 per month. Link is also in the description box below. Also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe if you're not already, and comment to help this channel grow and spread the truth. And also, check out some of the most powerful holistic health tools available on the market today at vibrantbody.net. There are some great little devices that are affordable and portable that can help you with your blood pressure issues there as well, such as the Inferum. Link, as always, also in the description box below for you. And until next time, stay healthy.